Welcome to another episode of MicroShiner's Life Distilled. My name is Brian Carey. I'm here today with Toffee from Foss Distillery here in Reykjavik, Iceland. Toffee, how would you pronounce your last name?
It's Guttormsson.
Do that one more time.
It's Guttormsson. Yeah, good luck with that one.
All right, I'm also here. Guttormsson?
Yeah, that's
okay, all right. I'm also here with a good friend, Adam Juno, another friend, Emily Little, and my wife, Misty Cordero. We're all just kind of cruising around Iceland, and of course, a distillery is always on my list. And also, just for all the listeners out there, my voice might be a little messed up. I just got back from the ACSA conference in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it kicked my ass, to say the least. Okay, so, Tofi, what do you guys do here at Foss Distillery?
So basically here we make a range of birch liqueurs, varying in both flavor and strength. So like we have right here before us, so we got a liqueur, a schnapps, then we got a bitter, all basically subtracting flavors from different types, like different spots of the birch tree. Like the deeper into the tree you go, there's more bitterness. The closer you are to the bark, there we go. All right, the more sweetness is there. So with varying degrees of sweetness, like it's easier on the palate, let's put it that way. And then we have we distill some of our product too to make a vodka. So we macerate some birch in first, and then we distill it once more. So it just leaves a very sharp finish, easy drinking. So it's nice. If you're a vodka drinker, it's definitely something you should try.
Okay, cool. So the vodka has like birch notes in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's what we're going for.
Okay.
So like I said, we macerate some birch at first, then redistill it, and some notes of the birch make it through distillation.
Okay.
So.
All right, bitchin'. I'm going to try this. I got to try this first. And then I'm just going to pass it around. Okay, yeah, I definitely get, I mean, birch. I'm not going to lie, it's my first time really tasting or drinking birch. Yeah. So I definitely get some tree notes, I guess.
That's it. Oh, yeah, man.
But, yeah, that's killer. Okay.
It's like some of it just makes it through, where it makes for a very sharp finish. Mm-hmm. It's like that's my way of seeing it. And then another thing, like you said, tree notes. Like when tasting, there's no wrong opinions. It's just like, what's your opinion on it?
Right. It's all subjective.
Yeah, subjective. That's the word.
Yeah. So, what do you do here, Toffee, at Foss Distillery?
So basically, I handle sales and marketing for the guys, and mainly at the moment that's just making sure our connections with like the restaurant world and the bar scene are just firm. Like we have a very good R&D department here, and letting guys who are like deep into the cocktail scene come here and use our equipment to make their bitters instead of doing it at home on a stove. We have a very good connection to a lot of like the upscale cocktail bars here. Like both our products are mainly used as adjuncts for cocktails, and it's just a really vibrant scene, as you guys are about to see, spending some time in Reykjavik. It's a good time to be in the cocktail industry at the moment.
Right? No, exactly. It's a good time to be in the craft spirits industry as well. No, the R&D department. That was the room. You will not be seeing any shots from there because it is currently off limits for cameras. So they're working on some top secret recipes downstairs that we cannot talk about today. But talk about your expansion. So how is your distillery's working on a new expansion with whey? Now, let's explain to the listeners what whey is, because I've only heard it briefly described in the past, but you gave me the best description of it. So if you can, reiterate that.
So basically, whey is a side product of cheese making. Like you'll need like mostly like milk fats and such. Like you need 10 liters of milk to make a kilo of cheese. This is very rough, and this is not at all This doesn't cover every type of cheese, but that's what the guys told me, you know. And so basically the other 9 liters are basically a waste product. There are guys who make it into whey isolate, like for protein and such. Well, there are currently, I think it's like 4 or 5 companies who are able to get it to ferment up to like where it makes sense fiscally to distill it. And what we've done is basically isolate a yeast strain that can survive in like such a super acidic environment. And yeah, that's our next step. These products are always going to be like whey spirit, now wheat spirit from Germany. But that's what the R&D department is currently doing.
Okay.
And that's with the whole, you know, secrecy thing. It's a lot of work being put into those projects, and the guys doing it are very protective of their stuff. So,
right on.
Which is great because I would just tell everybody. Yeah.
Oh shit! What was that?
They know we're talking about it.
Yeah, they're coming. Yeah.
So, going through, I wish I knew more Icelandic language. What does each of these stand for? And I heard you guys talking about Bjork.
Yeah.
So it's not named after the singer.
No, it isn't. So Björk is basically just a female version of the word birch here.
Okay.
And so there's Birki, and it's Birkir, which is the male version. So these are the 2 core products. This is what we started with.
Okay.
And so their names, just a female and a male version of the same word.
Right.
Birki.
Okay.
And that's it. That's nothing to do with the singer. I mean, sure, it probably helps that everybody knows how to pronounce this one. It's definitely good.
She should be your brand ambassador, I think.
Yeah, we were discussing that. If somebody could hook that up, that would be great.
Right, exactly. Yeah. She'll catch up with for this podcast. Don't worry.
I'm sure she's a dedicated follower.
Exactly. She is. Yeah. She's all about it. Okay, well, let's move down the line. First off, this vodka is awesome.
All right.
It's got a lot going on. And the birch or the tree is not overpowering, you know. As like with a vodka, it should be neutral. I'm gonna continue passing that. You guys should get hams. No, I'm joking.
Okay, good for it. Go for it. We have plenty.
Okay. Okay, so this is the bitter.
Yeah.
Talk about this guy.
If we're gonna be drinking these, we should probably work this way through.
Oh, okay. So Bjork next.
Yeah, because these get more intense as we go along. This isn't overpowering at all, but you don't want to work it backwards.
No.
Do you mean overpowering as far as the sweetness factor?
No, so this is the most bitter of the bunch. Okay. And when you're tasting stuff, you want to start with the lighter stuff. Like we started with vodka, and then we're gonna go over here. Yeah. So basically, that makes sense because it has the least amount of flavor to it. Which is also kind of the point. So this is a liqueur. It's meant as a digestive. It's fairly high in sugar as liqueurs go. This is the first product we made. It was made as a after-dinner drink at a restaurant called Dill. And since then, it's just been steadily growing. And now we just have our own production facility. So.
That's awesome. Okay, and I love how you actually have sticks in your bottle.
Yeah. It's
actually a piece of birch.
Does that increase the flavor, or is it more of an aesthetic thing?
It's an aesthetic thing. Yeah. So once it hits the bottle, it basically stops. That's just meant there as a brand recognition thing. Yeah. And it works really well with the out punch in the label.
It's nice, yeah.
It serves a purpose, but its purpose isn't flavor.
Do you have to sanitize the branches before you put them in the bottle, I imagine? Yeah.
Yeah,
so how would you sanitize them then?
You should probably ask somebody who knows more about that.
Damn it, Tom.
Put it in the dishwasher. It's okay.
Yeah, we got a guy who does that. One of our vats is meant for that kind of stuff. I know they're boiled off. That probably has something to do with it. It's a good question. Next time you're here, I'll be able to answer you.
Okay. So the birch trees and everything, they are all sourced locally, right?
Well, they're all from Iceland. We buy them mainly from up north, east. That's where we get most of it. But we are working on other sources. There's quite a few ideas going on, and that's one of them. So we have some friends from Thorsmörk who really want us to use their birch as a selling point for them, and we're not opposed to the idea. It's,
Is it a birch farm?
no,
Just someone's property that has...
just trimmings mainly.
Oh, wow.
And except for that one, it's a farm forest up northeast that they supply us with most of our stuff. That's where we get our syrup as well. Same dudes, very helpful guys.
That's very cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was telling some people I'm off to Iceland to do a podcast about birch sap and birch spirits, and people were just, their minds were blown. So I'm really excited. So, where can I find this?
So currently, we are changing distributors in America. So finding it there is going to be a problem. But if you go to our website, there's plenty of options for us to ship it to you.
No way.
Through various different sources.
Okay.
So yeah, check it out there.
Okay.
Should be simple.
What about like today?
Today, you're going to be able to find this at all. So liquor stores in Iceland are all government regulated.
Okay.
So because they have a better grasp on it than us, but let's not go into that.
Right.
And you'll find this you're going to find this at all restaurants, I think. And then it's the liquor store, basically.
Okay. Yeah. So how is that? How hard is it working with the Icelandic government when it comes to distribution and actually getting your product in people's hands?
It's not hard, but it's not really. They're willing to work with people, of course. They're not a bad form of distribution, not at all. It's just something that would be easier if done in another manner, but it's not a problem. It's just they own all of the stores.
Right. No. Okay. No. That's good to hear. That it's not really that they're not stepping on your toes too much. The laws are changing in the U.S. and it's become harder. So I was just wondering how hard it was for you here. But if it's you guys have a good relationship with your government. That's good.
Yeah.
Very cool. So tell me about, where are we located right now in Reykjavik? Because when we were driving in, I was like, this isn't exactly downtown. Is this more an industrial area?
So technically we're in a town called Kópavogur, which is a part of there's the capital area, but there's a few towns within it that have since grown into one another, and this is one of those towns. So basically it's like small sliver of water right here. They kind of goes in between the two, and there's just a small bridge over there. So yeah, you're in Kópavogur, cultural mecca of Iceland.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next time you're in Iceland, come to Kópavogur.
Kópavogur, yeah, that's it.
Kópavogur. Okay. And and then check out Foss Distillery. So the owner, he's not here today, but what inspired him? If you know his story, what inspired him to open a distillery?
So basically, Gunnar Karl and Ólafur Örn, the guys who originally made the recipe, was the head chef and the head bartender, were the sommelier at Dill. They approached Jakob to help them with production, mass production of their product, and from there, that's just how it goes. So Jakob has helped a lot of people start up with their liqueurs and other brands.
So he's done other ones before?
No, well, this was his first proper one, but since then, it's the willingness to work with a dedicated R&D department is a reason for that.
Sure.
So usually you won't see people putting this much effort into just developing a product, and a lot of interesting products that are on the market now started up through here. So
awesome.
Yeah. Small communities have benefits,
Yeah, no, absolutely. So everyone has a history in hospitality or in restaurant industry,
Yeah.
No, that's fascinating because that's usually where it starts. It's not every day you just wake up from a hangover and you're like, I drank some good whiskey last night. I'm going to be a distiller, It's usually because you're attached to certain spirits and working with them so much. It's really fun to see how it all, most distillers I've met are ex-bartenders and stuff like that as well.
It gives you a really good connection to also the end client, which
right,
you see what people like,
their end market, yeah,
and you get good access to other products too, and you just
right.
you get a good feeling for the market. You know, it's a lot easier to do that than through just focus groups and such. If you know, in my opinion, at least, that's the kind of what we're going for.
Right.
Just being in close connection to the guys working behind the bar, because at the end they're our like smallest scale retailer. They're selling it drink by drink, and they get feedback constantly. So it's a good connection to have.
That's very cool. That's awesome. Okay, so let's work our way down the line here. What is this guy?
So this is Schnapps called Birch Trees. That was the second product. Like they released these at the same time. Lower sugar, a little bit higher bitterness, a bit of a more of an alcoholic kick to it. This is coming in at 36%. That's what, 72 proof. So this is to date our most popular product. But it's been on sale for longer. The vodka is coming in quickly, but it does.
No, that's great. That's really good. Okay, so Schnapps,
yeah.
right?
Same
okay.
thing, just different spelling.
Right. Okay, so when most people think of schnapps, they think of like De Kuipers, like Blue Curacao, or like, you know, something that's just shit. You just don't want that stuff, right?
All right. It's good they used it then.
Right. I know, no, exactly. It's terrible, but this is awesome. Totally unique, nice and dry. But so, what makes schnapps? Like, why is that not like?
All right. So easiest classification is like a low sugar liqueur. So, the production with schnapps and liqueurs is very similar to a point where it's just about how the alcohol percentage needs to be above a certain point, and the added sugar can't be too much. You know, so I can't really nail it down, but that's the framework of it. Like a low sugar liqueur. Okay. Usually has, like you said, a drier finish, and it's more of a aperitif than a digestive, really.
Right. No, I was coming back. Where were we coming back? We were coming back from Amsterdam, and we had a layover someplace, and they had just schnapps like in jars, and you could just have the schnapps of the day.
Yeah.
Like they were just doing whatever they were macerating, and just pouring alcohol on it, and then there was some that were interesting. Like one was like, I don't know. I want to say it's like candy. It was like gummy bears and fruit or something like that. But is that normal? Like, I don't know. I think it's more of a European thing.
All right. Now you gotta define normal. Because
true.
Like right now, like the interest in making these drinks is so vast. Like there's so many people, and just the skill level they have, just compared to maybe 5-10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, when you first started seeing like noteworthy macerations happening in Reykjavik, and compared to what people are doing today, it's not even the same sport anymore. Like there are guys out there who are just, it's like I said, it's a good time to be in the industry. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening, and just Absolutely. Like you said, same thing you see with gin. There's so many gins on the market at the moment. You'll see a strawberry candy floss gin.
Right.
Like we know that's not gonna last, but somebody made it, and they were proud of it enough to put it in a bottle and to the market. So, it's
No, absolutely. It's a lot of fun to see.
Forgive my ignorance. Is schnapps meant to be mixed with something, or is it made to be
it's mainly
had
on its own? Yeah, I mean you can see it as an adjunct to a cocktail. You might even I don't want to get this wrong, but like you might even drink it with like seltzer water or even tonic. But there's somebody listening here who now just hates.
But as an aperitif, you have it before you have a meal.
Yeah, it's to each his own, really. Like there's a lot of like prejudice against how you're supposed to enjoy your spirits.
Yeah.
Like if it's yours, do what you with what you want. Same thing you see with like whiskey or such. Like a few years ago, people would give you shit for drinking a whiskey with ice. Like, that's not your business, is it? How I drink stuff?
Sure, yeah.
It's just
right. Exactly. I usually have mine with waffles in the morning for breakfast. That's usually how I enjoy my whiskey. Exactly. That's how I enjoy my schnapps. But no, dude, no, that's the thing. It's like we had this huge discussion the other day, and it's like, is everything intended to be mixed? No, especially if this is gonna taste like what I think it tastes like. I just do shots of this shit, dude. Like,
I mean, you
it's
can
like
see
Fernet or something. It's gonna be like it. I mean, I guess I should just taste it, but
like you can see how step by step it goes. Like the intensity rises. Like you said, it's a fairly obvious guess where we're going here, and I like that you add like a Fernet.
Yeah.
That's basically how we've been like marketing it out to. Like that's how people have been drinking it. Like the bitter market here is huge. Like there's a lot of people. Like the guys who distribute Fernet Branca in Iceland, they're doing pretty good. You know,
Right.
It's all right.
no, Amaro's. It almost seems like Amaro's like Fernet or Jägermeister. They go hand in hand with like cold weather. You know, that's why it's like that I could sip on. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to carry a bottle of that around. No, that's great. So, tell me about how do you pronounce this again?
Burkur.
Birker.
Yeah.
Birker.
Burkur. Yeah, it means bark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Bark.
mean, it's also a name. Like it's
Okay. Okay.
like I said, these two are newer
Okay.
to the market than these are. This is my favorite product that we make.
Yeah.
It's
pretty awesome.
it is good. They definitely hit a right note there.
And it's a little smoother than Fernet, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Fernet is like a Fernet. It's like a super herbal amaro, or like a sugarless amaro. Like a Fernet, that's what Fernet means, and yeah, it's vastly different in production, and the outcome is different too. But the people who happen to like Fernets or amaros and stuff, they usually like this too. Sure. It's a similar palate, well, it caters to the similar palate. So.
Is there? So these are all different names for birch. The borkur is the bark, you were saying?
Yeah. It just happens to sound good within.
Sure.
Like these two are like a male and female version of the word birch. These two just sound cool.
Coincidentally, having a B in the first.
There you go. Figured it out. Huh?
So what's next then? What's the next name? I guess we can't talk about it.
Yeah, it's still something they're working on.
Sure.
It's going to be something completely different, even though it's going to be made here. It's just, there's some cool ideas floating around.
Excellent.
How do you say milk in Icelandic, I guess?
Mjölk.
Milk?
Yeah.
Milk.
It's all right. We're not going to choose that one.
Yeah. You're in marketing. You're like, that's the terrible name. That's terrible. No, that's great. That's great stuff. So wait, explain what the definition of Fernet is again.
All right. So basically, there's amaros, which are like herbal, bitters.
Yeah.
And you got Fernet has no added sugar to it, and it's what's the best way of going about this? Now I'm just trying to make sure I don't say something wrong.
Right. Well, no. I mean, at the same time, I never knew there's a definition for.
So like Fernet Branca, Fernet is just a type of bitter. It's like saying bourbon Branca. So there's a bunch of Fernets out there. There's a Fernet stock that's from Eastern Europe somewhere. Then there's a Fernet Francisco that's from San Francisco. They're making some waves right now. It's a cool product. If you guys know somebody, I would love a bottle. I'll give you my address.
You can pull some strings.
Yeah, please. Then there's a few Fernets out there. I'm a big fan of the genre. I think it's a very cool drink. It's and you can claim it's medicinal, which is great.
Right.
Like I said, it's no added sugar amaro, basically.
Right.
I am told.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's like naturally sweet or something like that. That's I never knew that. I'm really glad you just dropped that knowledge on me. Thank you, Toffee. No, I think I think your whole lineup is fantastic, stellar. I can't wait to see what happens next. So how has we kind of touched base on it, but. How new are you guys? How long have you guys been around for?
So basically, the company was founded in 2011.
Okay.
They were releasing product in 2012,
Okay.
and since then it's just been rolling.
Okay.
Steadily growing. So
Steadily, like new products
yeah,
and newer products, and now there's the expansion coming up. It's exciting.
it is.
Yeah.
It's going good.
That's good. How have you seen the craft spirit industry grow in like Iceland?
It's very fast. It's going very well.
Okay.
It's there's a lot of like people are always going to focus on vodka and gin. We have a whiskey distillery now. They've been releasing product for what 4 years now,
Okay.
5 years maybe. It's either 4 or 5. Really interesting guys. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. We got some good gin. There's some nice vodka out there, especially one that's right here. See.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. I'm gonna say the rest of that for
But
myself.
like I said, it's like when this first came to market, there was one of the only like liqueurs being made here. There wasn't, low-hanging fruit kind of thing.
Right.
But now there's stuff noteworthy, and
Yeah.
that's like competition between companies is. It's a strange way of looking at it because the market is always just going to decide. Is you just put your best foot forward and see what happens.
Yeah.
And
No, and that's okay. That's the most exciting thing about craft spirits is, okay, the big brands have to stick to the same mash bills. They have to stick to the same products. They can't. Jack Daniels can't just start stepping out the box and be like, Jack Daniels is doing a Fernet now, a different Branca. Like. It's not going to happen. That's what they do. But a craft distillery can have a lineup because it's small batch, and then they could experiment with different malts, different grains, different herbs, and that's. I think this is a great example of that. With
Thank you, man.
the Birch, yeah, and everything's fantastic. But so how, I guess, has the competition been with other companies, craft distilleries?
there's so we have cornered out our little piece of the market here. There's nobody that's really touching on this stuff at the moment. But when you say competition, like there's a lot happening. But
If you guys take that, dude, it's all good. What do you guys want to taste? You guys want to taste some more stuff?
I like the person.
The Bjork?
Look here.
I like the person. 50.
It
The
is.
schnapps.
sorry about that.
No sweat. It's all
But like I said, there's plenty of interesting product being made. But at some point, somebody said like a high tide raises all the ships equally. So like there's just people are more interested. Like local products, because of like a bunch of taxation, are going to be more expensive than imported stuff. Don't ask me why. That's just how it is. And it's like people are willing to ask the questions. People are like, how do you make this? Where do you make this? How many people are? It's fun. It's different.
That actually kind of goes in. I was going to ask, has there been anything in particular that has raised the level of creative micro-distilleries in Iceland, or is it kind of just this surge of interest or creative? Like, were there any regulations dropped recently, or someone new came in and introduced something new, or?
Not really. It's just the interest is there.
Yeah.
There's it's just for some reason a lot of these new distillers tend to be graphic designers. Don't ask me why. I mean, I guess they're probably just willing to take
Packaging is a really fun aspect of
marketing for
starving artists.
I mean, that's marketing for the spirit world is huge. People don't realize how important it is, and it's not in like a corny way where it's like, what brand do you smoke, doctor? It's just eye-catching stuff, like you mentioned, with having a taller bottle comes with pluses and minuses.
That's nice.
It's a really fun aspect.
Let's go down the line again.
You want to go? You want to revisit?
Let's go down the line again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the bottles, that too is one of my favorites. I like the nice slenderness. God, I'm just like hitting on the bottles. Isn't aquavit like also kind of a more famous kind of Icelandic
Yeah,
beverage?
it's Scandinavian in general.
Scandinavian, yeah.
It's usually just a spirit. It has to be flavored with either dill, caraway seeds, which caraway seeds and cumin, more or less the same thing. I don't really know the classification between the two of them. Has to be either dill or one of those two. and then you can play around with it. There's a bunch of interesting aquavit out there. I'm a huge fan of aquavit. It's great.
Right. I mean, because isn't Brennivin like an aquavit? And Brennivin's like the official beverage of Iceland.
Yeah, it is the oldest spirit made here. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Also nicknamed Black Death, right?
It was called Black Death for a while, I think.
Right on.
So, and then they decided to change it because it became too popular.
Do you filter the water any more so than out of the tap?
Here,
Yeah.
No.
No,
you honestly don't have to. There's more of like with breweries, they sometimes have to add to it stuff they need more than subtract from it.
sure. Like minerals that may come in the water or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But the water's really good here.
the water is really good here, or at least so I'm told. I've been drinking it all my life and I'm fine.
Sure. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Pass the better one.
Oh, past the better. Okay, there you go. Okay, revisiting stuff.
It's important, right?
Right. Okay. Well, I had a few more questions, but they slipped my mind. Other than that, I mean, you're excited for the future. Things are happening. Tell me more about your production team.
All right. So it's basically 4 people. It's a small distillery. Yeah. With small distillery comes a lot of like labor. Basically, you have to do more stuff by hand.
Right.
They're good guys who happen to just be taking a day off because they need it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your volume? I asked you in the room.
So you asked me earlier what our like max output was, and I honestly don't know. We just expanded our capabilities, and if they know, nobody's told me. But like I said, we expanded with that in mind that we're steadily growing in popularity, and the demand is growing too. So we are not running at 100% at the moment. So yeah. Can't answer you.
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite cocktail, Puffy?
I think I always want an Old Pal.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I always want one of those.
Okay.
But it does vary. I like mint juleps too.
Okay.
So yeah,
Does mint grow around here?
it grows very well in the grocery store. Yeah.
Right on. Okay. Noted. No, okay, so we're just wondering, I guess this is maybe more of like a random question for you about Iceland.
All right.
But is there anything that is really like grown and harvested here that is used besides, I guess, birch, but like food-wise?
Yeah, food-wise, there's a bunch of like new Nordic cuisine has been big for a few years.
Okay.
And that's like there's here like everywhere else, like chefs foraging is the coolest concept they'll find, at least in my opinion. Right. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff they use. I honestly can't answer anymore. I'm not one of those chefs. So I know some of the beer guys go out foraging too for like herbs and stuff, and that's something you should look into.
No,
There's a lot of interesting beers happening at the moment.
Right.
But yeah, there's a bunch of herbs,
Okay.
a few spices, and other than that, it's berries, a lot of berries too.
No,
But I'm not the best guy to ask this.
right. No, that's cool. I mean, even just what you said, like chefs going out and doing that, because that's what chefs do best, is they try to just innovate and change and do stuff.
That's it.
And even just if finding whatever's in their own backyard and kind of making that work. I never forget, we lived in Alaska for a while, but
All right.
me and my wife, and fiddlehead ferns, they are only ripe for like a week in the wild, and they're ferns, but when you cut them, harvest them at the right time, they're very like soft, like asparagus or something. But anyway, that was just
Fiddlehead fern. Yeah.
fiddlehead, yeah, because they're like all curled like the top of a violin.
All right.
So yeah, that's fun topic. Well, that's great. So this is your lineup for right now, and then can't wait to see some whey.
Here we go.
Cool. All right, Toffee. Well, hey, I'll let you get back. You had to go back and finish your whiskey class.
There we are, man.
You're gonna do that?
Yeah, it's tonight, but
Okay.
there's still a lot of preparation to be done.
Okay. What's cool to do in Reykjavik?
I'm
Tonight.
guessing you guys are into the restaurant and bar scene, so
Yeah.
you got plenty of stuff to do.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff you should check out. There's a whiskey bar in Reykjavik called Dylan. Definitely hit that up.
Okay.
And then, like I said, right now the craft beer scene is just everywhere. There's a lot of local breweries worth seeing. I can't recommend enough restaurants. Just do your research, check it out. You're gonna have a good time.
I was looking at, is there a cheese museum? Did I see that right? Nearby?
If there is, I haven't heard of it.
Over that way?
I don't know, man.
I just put cheese in the Google search.
It's a good search.
I know, right? But it came up with a cheese, like a museum?
Yeah, I haven't heard about that one.
It was over this way.
Guess is that interesting if you ask me about?
The Oppressor Cheddar White Cheese Museum?
I haven't seen. Click on it. Let's see what it is.
There wasn't much review on it. Sorry to
No,
co-opt the podcast. Cheese is important.
No,
with
exactly.
Booze.
Absolutely. No, cheese and spirit
Okay.
tasting.
all right.
Well, you brought up
I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, please.
What is that building that's over there with the dome on it?
There used to be water tanks for the city. Now it's a restaurant and some museum part as well.
Okay.
The restaurant is, it's a very nice overlook of the city.
Okay.
What kind of a museum is
good.
it? Do you know? Do you know what kind?
What?
Do you know what kind of a museum it is?
No,
Oh.
honestly, no. I think it's. No, I don't know. The bar is good though. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. No, okay, cool. Well, do you have any fun facts you want to drop? If not,
No, not really. I think we're all good.
okay. Well, okay, Toffee, thank you so much for this. It's a lot of fun. Killer lineup. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. And yeah, beautiful little slice of heaven you got here in the middle of Iceland. I keep looking at the map just so I can make sure I know where I'm at. Sweet. Well, cheers. Cheers, Toffee. I'm going to just toast with you.
All right.
And until next time, thanks, man.